Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Unlocking the Fearless You. As you can see today, I'm not here on my own for Content Tuesday, which is our first ever. I thought today we might make it a little bit special and bring an extra special guest in, because what we can do is we can go through content as much as you want, but it's always good to get a different view from somebody else that's also been through it, but a completely different way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through your fears, we're going to conquer them, we're going to build up your self-esteem, we're going to go through every bit of confidence you can imagine to bring yourself forward. And me and Robert J. Moore are going to go through everything with you today. So, Robert J. Moore, here you are, the man himself.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm exceptionally well.
Fantastic. Now, you have come in all the way from Toronto today.
I am. Toronto, Canada.
Exactly, in Canada. So there's going to be a few people from all around the world that are going to log in today and actually come on this feed. And what I'll do is any kind of comments that come through, any questions that come through, I will obviously say them to you, and you're more than welcome to answer them. That is not a problem. Obviously, if you've got any questions for me, again, you can ask me the questions. That is not a problem. We're quite happy for you to interact with us. And that's what it's all about. It's all about you asking questions and us giving you as much content as we possibly can to help you out, to move you forward, to be where I am today, and to be where Robert is today. Because at the end of the day, it's what it's all about. It's all helping each other. So, Robert, I would like you to, well, apart from I've introduced you, but to introduce yourself, the reason why I've brought you on today for Content Tuesday, and to explain to them, you know, what you've gone through with obviously your jail, your alcohol, and everything. I'll leave you for a minute to go through what you've got.
What do you want me to do, to introduce myself?
Yeah, just, you know, let them know about, you know, where you've come from, and you're a best-selling author. You've got 7 books, guys, 7. I'm just doing my first one. So, yeah, he's an
internationally awarded best-selling author. I've got Author of the Year. I've got honorary doctorate degree. I've gotten nominated for massive awards. I've been on stage with several of the top achievers in the world: Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Raymond Aaron, Douglas Vermeeren. I've been asked to speak on, Eric Thomas, and I've studied 40 of the top achievers to be where I'm at today in the last decade, and I'll continue studying another 40 in the next decade. So I take snippets of everybody's stuff and I make it my content. So
good, that's good, and exactly what you're saying there. I mean, you know, this is the reason, guys and girls, the reason why I've brought Robert in today, because at the end of the day, he's gone through so much that he can help you with your with the content as well, to help you move forward. Now, I know that you've got qualifications in the mental health, emotions, and behavioural side of it. Would you like to express a little bit more about that, and obviously explain a little bit more?
I've got social service worker diploma. I got addictions degree. I got BA in psychology, master's in counseling psychology, harm reduction. I've also got mental health psychology. Right. And the reason why I got all that is because I wanted to find out what was going on with me. See, guys, before everything happened, before everything was all good and gloomy, and people see me to where I am today, I was an alcoholic, drug addict. Right. And I was in and out of jail for 16 years. I was on the streets for 7 years. And I had to learn what was going on with me. I didn't do all the schooling to get ahead to say, I want to work with this person. That was furthest in my mind. What I did was all the content that I actually worked on doing my thesis, my critiquing and everything abilities, I had to do on me. So anger management, I did life skills, I did human development, you know, all the different things. I actually was struggling with the same problem. So I actually worked on it in class and got a good mark from the teacher for it. So it was kind of neat.
So people that are actually going through the same situations that you went through back then, what would you say? How does their mind need to be? Where do they need to be to move themselves on?
See, I only use drugs and alcohol as a crutch. We can't use that as oh, I'm an alcoholic, I'm this and that. I understand that, and that's just where you're conditioned to be. Start dealing with the internal problem, and you'll start having that problem leave you. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is, I don't deal with the outer crap. I deal with the inner peace.
Yeah.
So I go to the core of the problem and I start dealing with the people's emotions.
Okay. So obviously when you started doing this, you had to deal with your own emotions, and you had to deal with what you had deep inside you. I mean, was there something particular that that you had to overcome, and the reasons why that you was in jail for so long, and the reasons why that you used drugs and alcohol and that you was on the streets. Was there, as you saying, there's a lot to do with the core and what happened? I mean, are you willing to share a little bit about what happened with you and how you got out of it?
My books basically talk about it, but yeah, I'll share a little bit for sure. I mean, we were from a broken family. My dad remarried when I was 2 years old, and it just so happened that when he was remarried, that my stepmom, which I called mom, she became very, very angry at what I was doing in life. I don't know what it was. It was like she hated me or something until I was like age 16, and then we became good friends. But it was like she blamed me for everything her son went through, which my dad, like I said, my dad and her dad my stepmom got married, and just happened to have a kid on her side, which is brought in the family, so it was a stepbrother. So he did everything, but he never got in trouble for it. I got in trouble for everything he did. So there's a lot of anger stuff happening. So
do you reckon it was something to do with her, though, in the respect that she didn't like what he was doing, but she didn't want to upset him, so it's easier to upset you?
No, he blamed me for it. He always blamed me, so I got in trouble. Every time he blamed me, it would be my fault, and she believed him.
That's right. I'm just turning my sound down so we don't get any feedback. Yeah, she would believe him, did you say? So
it took a long time for me to sit down.
You was in the way, kind of thing.
It took a long time for me to actually sit down with her and tell her exactly what was going on. This is after I ran away from home at the age 15 and a half.
So how did you get to that point with her? I mean, there's a lot of people. There's some feedback here. Have you got yours pretty by there, Robert?
Do I have, pardon?
Got quite a lot of feedback. Is that you or is that me?
No, I don't hear much on my end.
Okay. I'll turn it down a little bit more then. Yeah, so what I was explaining, is it very much that, how did you get to that stage of being able to talk to her?
You got to hit emotional bottom. I hit rock bottom personally. Like me, my bottom's going to be different from other people. Everybody has a different bottom. I mean, your bottom could be once every 3 weeks that you're just going to rut. And you feel depressed or something like that, that could be a bottom to you. It could be something that's ruining your life. So say you're drinking too much. If you're drinking too much and it's starting to really ruin your life, change your appearance, your attitude, your thinking, then that could be a rock bottom to you. Mine was in and out of jail and hanging with the wrong people and doing all the wrong things.
Did you feel as though that the reason why you hung around with wrong people was very much?
I hung around with a lot of dangerous people.
Yeah. Well, was it very much in the respect of the reason why you did that is because it was like a bond that you didn't have at home?
Well, no, it was what it was is you're seeking attention, right? You're looking for that special void to be filled. And when you're drinking and drugging, you want to be noticed in certain ways. And, my parents weren't feeding me that. My dad was always working. He was a workaholic. And the problem is, if he's not there and she's giving me heck all the time, then what am I going to do? I'm going to lash out.
Yeah.
And I ran away and just kind of did my own thing and hung around with the people that I felt that were giving me the attention I needed.
Okay. So that's the thing. It's very much about talking. I mean, I went through quite a lot myself. I mean, we talk about obviously yourself and me from the beginning. My childhood was quite hard. I had very much that my mum was in and out of hospital most of my childhood. I got bullied at home. I got bullied at school. And it was very much that I didn't have no way out. And I couldn't say that I didn't actually hit rock bottom. I just accepted that that's how bad it was. And it was just something I just got used to. And as a young child, that's exactly what happened. It wasn't until I got older and I actually got the love and respect from friends that it was very much that I don't need to put up with this. And the problem is when my dad was drinking, mainly at weekends, it was very much that, he used to take it out on me because of his frustrations. And I know that now is the fact is that comes back from his childhood when his dad used to hit him and his dad used to hit his mum. And it was all about frustrations. And I thought he was a very, very strong person as a child. But I look back now and I think, he had no one to speak to. He was too proud. And I suppose it was the way it was back then, back in the day, is that you just didn't speak to people. And it was just very much that, trying to understand people and their reactions and the way they are emotionally and what they do and how they overcome things. And when I got with my ex-husband, he was okay to start with. He became a bully, and then he decided to nearly murder me in front of my children. And I sent him to prison. So, and it was all because he was taking drugs and he was drinking. So and the reasons why, again, I asked you to come together with me today is because we've come from completely different areas and different sides of the world. And it's nice to see it from a different point of view and how you got in that, because I don't understand the reason why he would do that to me. And there's probably a lot of women out there, or even men and children out there that get bullied and get hurt, and they don't know why. I mean, from in the nicest way, an alcoholic's point of view, what goes through your mind?
It doesn't really matter what goes through your mind. It's a matter of the actions you're taking without thinking. Mm-hmm. An alcoholic is very indestructive. Inside, that we're just killing ourselves. We're not dealing with the emotions. We're suppressing emotions. We're taking our anger out on, it's called misdirect anger. You're misdirecting your anger and taking it out on someone else when you really should be looking in the mirror and taking it out on that person. Dealing with the emotions is not easy. Being an emotional specialist, I've studied this stuff for years, like 12 to 13 years now. And as you can see from my content that I let you use, it's very thick. And the reason why it's thick is because you have to really dig in there. You really have to look at all angles of it all. You can't leave an opening. You can't leave something. If someone comes to work with me, I was doing psychotherapy for a long time, for 10 years. People come to me and I tell them, listen, you don't have to worry about the drink and the drug, and I don't care about that. Just don't use the day of, right? That you're seeing me. I want you, because I want to get your rawness. If you drink afterwards, that's fine. I don't care. But it's dealing with the emotion that's dug inside there, the real core of the issue of the emotion of it. I have to strip everybody's emotion down and rebuild them one by one.
So a question for you then. Say, for instance, like you've got people today and you've got someone that's taking drugs or is drinking and they can't get themselves out of the situation. What would you say their first step was?
I had a hard time hearing you there.
Sorry, is it really bad feedback?
No, I didn't hear feedback. It was like really low for some reason.
Okay, I turned it down for the feedback. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. So for anybody that's actually watching, and you've got like that they're taking drugs or they're taking alcohol and they don't know how to get out of a situation, they're in a rut and they don't know what to do. What would you say the first step is for someone to say, look, I've had enough, I've hit rock bottom, but I don't know how to get out of it? What would you say?
They're going to want to have to do it themselves. I'll be honest with you. They can't be forced by anybody else. They have to want to do it for themselves. If you do it for your mother, you do it for your brother, you do it for your wife, your husband. If you do it because you want, if you're being told, oh, you got to do this, or else I'm not going to let you in the house, or I'm not going to let you see my kids, that's just blackmail. Mm-hmm. You're going to do it for the wrong reasons. If you go into a place and you get yourself detoxed and you're going through all that trouble, why would you do that for somebody else just to go back out and do it again? It's going to happen again because of the fact that you're not doing it for the right reasons. You have to be doing it for the right reasons. The right reasons is the internal soul of what you want to do with. Trust me, it's scary. It's scary. I'm not going to say it's the easiest thing in life. It was the hardest thing I had to do. Maintaining it was even harder. But you know what? Being here today, I don't think of none of that. I'm over 13 years clean and sober today.
That's right. So what obstacles did you overcome, and what did you have to reach? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have problems, obviously, with business, and we'll talk about business after. So for you, ladies and gentlemen, that have just come on today, I'm here with Robert J. Moore, and we're doing Content Tuesday together. And I'm picking Robert's brains a little bit at the moment because there's a lot of things that we've both gone through, but complete opposite ends. Not only is he in Toronto and I'm in the UK, but also opposite ends when it comes down to he's done the alcohol and drug side, and I've been the person that's actually been on the receiving end of that. So it's very much like making people come together to do the best content that we possibly could. I mean, you've got a couple of people here, Robert. You've got Serpa. Now, Serpa, I've met Serpa a couple of times. She's absolutely a diamond, and she herself, and she came to the Yes You Can Inspire to Achieve on August and she told her story for the first time, and it makes me, my eyes water just thinking about it. And she's overcome alcohol, and she's been dry for a couple of years now, and she's doing so well. So I want to give you a little applause because that is amazing. And yeah, I mean,
that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, and
one day, believe it or not, is huge. All right, so one day is a very good applause, and honestly, man, I know it, because if you don't start working on you at the beginning, there's going to be a problem. You can't just say, "Oh, listen, I'm just going to stay away from it." It's like going to a barber. You sit in the barber's chair long enough, you're going to get a haircut.
Yeah, I believe that. So yeah, I want to make sure that you've got Surfer there, because she's absolutely an amazing person, and she's even come over now, and she's come from Finland, and she's come and live in the UK, and she's so amazing. So there you go. Thank you for your response. So obviously, when it comes to when you get to prison, when you come off and drink your alcohol, when I got rid of my last relationship, I found that I was unemployable. A lot of people turned around and said to me, because what he did is not only try and murder me in front of my children, and it's affected my children quite badly, which that's for another Content Tuesday. It's very much that because he broke my back, I can't sleep for hours on end. I can't lift things heavy. I can't do things. I can't stand up for a long amount of time. There's lots of things that I can't do. So they turned around and said to me that I was unemployable. I mean, how did you overcome your things and your obstacles when you came out of prison and you come off the alcohol and people said, oh, you know, and you've got that people saying that they don't want to go near you for any particular reason. I mean, how did you go over that?
Doing the fact I had a lot of criminal record, you're not going to get a job anywhere, especially with no credentials or nothing. So that's one of the main reasons why I went to school. I said, okay, well, I want to get some credentials, and hopefully I can work on the Queen's Pardon. In Canada, they call it the Queen's Pardon. So, believe it or not, it comes from London, England. To get it, it's a Queen's Pardon. So, it's very funny, because I'll tell you a little story about that. Now, to get rid of that, you have to have a Queen's Pardon. You have to have a lapse of no problems for a period of 10 years on indictable offenses, and the other ones are supposed to be 5 years. So it was a very long tour to get to there where I had to get a pardon. And when last time I came over to London, England, I'll be honest with you, it was 2 weeks before I actually went over, when I accepted the award down there, the Author of the Year award. Now, I accepted it. I had no idea how I was going to get there or nothing, because of the fact of I had this pardon and I couldn't get rid of it. They won't let you on the plane, for it.
Wow.
You know? And no, I'm telling you. So I said, with my heart, body, and soul, I will come. I paid for the tickets. I asked for no insurance. And 2 weeks before I left, I got it.
Fantastic. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the best thing to do is have that problem when it comes to through your, when it comes down to drugs, alcohol, and people in prison, it's a fact to get yourself some strength. Because by educating yourself, gaining your knowledge will help you with your goals, and it will help you with, and that's what it's about. It's about doing the best you can with what you've got. Knowledge is key. A lot of knowledge is you can gain more in your life. So you went for a training. I went for a training, and then we both went into this. So tell me about you, Robert. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Is everybody else hearing feedback, or is it just me?
Yeah, I hear it coming from your end when you're speaking. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when it comes down to your transition, that you transition from your old life and you've done all your education, and then you come into your new life where you're working and what you was doing and becoming your award-winning public speaker and going around the world and doing all your books. What was your goals? What was your life? What was, your thing?
Well, to start off, I had to learn how to deal with the emotional bondage inside me. And that's what I did with all those school. I got a sponsor, and I made sure I went through the right steps. They taught me, because a sponsor is someone that's already been there. It's like a coach, right? A coach has already been there. He's guiding you now to that level. Once you reach that level that they're at, then you can move on to another person. It's not a problem. There's no hard feelings with that. but it does take a while to get to that. You're not going to happen overnight.
Okay.
It's going to be emotional. It's going to be, you're going to feel like there's people critiquing you. They're not. They're just trying to help you.
And is a sponsor quite easy to get a hold of?
Pardon me?
Is a sponsor quite easy to get a hold of?
You can get a hold of anybody to be a sponsor or a coach /coach, right? One of my coaches, it was Eric Thomas. Before I had Eric Thomas as a coach for 6 months, the hip hop preacher out of Michigan. I've also had Les Brown, right? And I've also had a few other ones. Who was the other one that I had? Think and Grow Rich operations manager at Toronto. I've had. So I've had some pretty top people, like even Ted McGrath. He's like up there. They're not cheap. The problem is that you have to pay. And a lot of people have resistance. That resistance is a borderline of, okay, I've only got $2,000, but I need to get to this level. How do I get to that level without hiring the coach? You have to pay the $1,400 or $2,000, whatever they're asking for. You have to pay that, and it's like, well, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? The how is why you're hiring someone. The why is something totally different.
Brilliant.
So when you do the why, always maintain that why inside. Never look at the how. The how is what you're paying someone else to help you with, so that you can get up that ladder. So within no time at all, I was making money.
Okay, that's good. And you know, with myself, once I was told I was unemployable, and they turned around and said, "I'm sorry, we can't give you any kind of jobs," and I was like, "Well, no one's going to tell me that I can't do something. I was put on this earth to do something. You know, I'm not going to sit on my butt and do nothing every single day and waste my life." And I knew there and then, even though a lot of the time I was laying on my back with obviously a broken back, I'm waiting for it to get fixed. I was like,
you got to be a strong person to go through that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know no matter what, I need to do something. And I did a few things like you in some respect. But I'm getting feedback again. I was very that I wrote my business plan. And even though it wasn't something that I was thinking about doing at the time, it was very much that, you know, I'm going to write this business plan and I'm going to make sure I get myself into business. And it gave me a goal. It gave me something that I could work towards. And that's what got me over my back. And then after that, I found that my confidence was quite low. Obviously, it knocked it out of me. And my self-esteem went through the floor. And I knew I needed to do something. Now, when I left school, I was told that, oh, you're never a cancer or anything. You talk too much. Now I do it for a living. And the fact is, you know, I went back to college. And I went and got my diplomas in physics, chemistry, biology, forensics, retook my maths and English, just to say that all the things that I failed at school, that I could actually do. And I proved to myself that I could do it, which then in turn helped me with my confidence, built my self-esteem. And that's the thing like you were saying, very much, you know, educating yourself, giving yourself the knowledge, brings you up to say, I'm better than what everybody thinks I am. I'm better than what I think I am.
See, I don't do things to please other people. Mm-hmm. I do it for myself.
Yeah.
If I'm going to achieve that goal, I want to reach it internally.
Yeah.
I started off with the smallest goals. The smallest goals are bring dreams, like big dreams to me. The small goal, right? Because it was like, wow, I actually did it. I don't dream small no more. I'm too big to dream small. You know what I mean? And I've been taught that. Some of the best brothers that I talk to is like, it is way up there. These guys are noticed in different, like I'm in magazines all over the world, interviews, podcasts, everything all over the world. I speak all over the place. The big dreamer, Les Brown's best friend, did the forward for me. Him and I are really good friends, you know, so.
Exactly. And for any of you out there, you know, don't sit there and think that you've just got to dream small, because at the end of the day, you know, your mind will only go as big as your dreams. And if you make your dreams absolutely huge, don't ever think it's a pipe dream, because it's not, because you've got something to work towards. And every single day, you take one step closer than what you were yesterday. And that's what you've got to remember. You just got to keep moving forward. You've got to keep doing action. and you just got to keep going. And you're going to get setbacks. You're going to get people telling you you're not good enough. You're going to get people saying to you that, you know, that you shouldn't be doing this because it's a...
Let the haters be the haters.
Yeah, exactly. And you get loads of them. And you know what? The better you're doing, the more you get. And do you find that?
Hey, I got people that are jealous of me. I got people that are telling me, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. And you know what? You know you're not. But let the haters be the haters. The reason why I say let the haters be the haters, because it makes me try harder.
Yeah.
I don't want to be where I was before. I know my why. I know what it's like to be down there in the gutter, living on the streets. I don't want to be there. And I won't allow my family to be there.
Yes, and that's brilliant. And the reason why I'm doing things like this today is because I went through that emotional abuse. I went through that physical abuse. And I don't want anyone to go through that. And if I can actually build them up, even with me talking to them and saying, you can be a better person of yourself and you can bring yourself forward, they might actually come out of that relationship, or they might come out of that situation and go, do you know what? I am actually better than you and I can do it. And it's not all about me being strong. It's about them being strong too. It's about bringing them up as much as we possibly can. And guys, this is the reason why that I'm doing these broadcasts. Because this is my way of taking action. It's my way of helping you out to say, I'm not keeping myself quiet because I want to make sure you succeed. And Robert J. Moore goes through all his books, and he gets them to make you read his story to say, look, you can do better too. And that's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, passing that on and making sure that everybody gets out there. There's no reason in this day and age for people to be down there.
You're never too old to make on something new. Never too old.
It's all about empowering others. It's all about telling your story. It's about getting out there, and it's about being confident with it. I mean,
you can empower others, but if they're not receiving, then it's hard. And I've dealt with many, many, many people that don't receive. So what I do is I bring myself down to their level. All right. And if say they're a mechanic, and if I'm coaching them, and I utilize all my skills now as a coaching technique. So if I'm talking to, say, hypothetically, someone is about a mechanic, they don't understand what I'm talking about because it doesn't relate or resonate to them. So then they'll say, listen, you know, underneath the carburetor, there's this little spot there. What's that called? Yeah. So now if that doesn't work, what would happen if this, and this? And then they start opening up. Now they feel more comfortable. And you're using it as the exact same technique as you would something else, but now you're just labeling it and say, this is just like this, right? And when you're going through your emotions. And people love it. People just love it.
And that's the thing. I mean, you know, it's all about, as you said, getting coaching, helping them out, bringing them out. And not only that, I suppose it's easier in some respects as well, because where you've been through it yourself, it's like you see where they are now. And you go, well, all you've got to do is do this. And this is the result you'll get.
A lot of people don't like the way I do things because I know how to read their BS. I know how to, you know, like their physiology of the face. I know how to do the body language. I know how to talk with their tone of voice. I can tell when they're BSing me. I'm a straight shooter. I say it as is. I rather care right then and there what's going on in their life than their emotion.
Yeah. Because
their emotion I could deal with later.
That's right. Because at the end of the day, is if someone can't be honest with you, they can't be honest with themselves. They're never going to get themselves any further. They're never going to get themselves any better. Because until they stop being in denial, until they stop lying and cheating to themselves, you know, I don't think they're going to get anywhere. Do you agree?
They have to start being honest and taking responsibility for their own actions.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It is huge. That's right. That's right. We've got on here. We've got hello from Marcia. She wants to say hello to the both of us.
Hello.
Beryl Winter, which is she's the mummy of one of our 12, Maxine Winter, and blessed love to Maxine. Bless you. Thank you very much, my love. And Beryl, she actually done some healing on my back a couple of weeks ago after one of our events. And she done this amazing healing. And I've never let anybody touch my back in 7 years. Because literally I've had doctors, I've tried people to massage me and stuff like that. And I was like, no, just don't touch it because it's really painful. And I trusted her and I was like, do you know what? Touch it, just be careful. So that's what she did. And do you know what? I've still not woken up with backache. I've had no backache for 2 weeks. So I'm going to get her on this show, just so you know, guys. I'm going to get her on this show and we're going to discuss this. So just so you know, but thank you very much for that, Beryl. She also says, hi, Robert. And she's giving you some love heart eyes. So, yeah, so you've got Deborah on as well. So there's a few people watching today. They like to know about your content and about what we've got to offer. Now, I know obviously time's getting quite short. We're 33 minutes in already. So what we're going to talk, Robert, is let's talk a little bit about you. Because I know obviously we've talked about content and we've talked about, you know, things that you can do to help people. But let's see what you have to offer. Because at the end of the day, you've done so much for so many people. I mean, I think it's about 100,000 people you said you changed.
Yeah, estimated 100,000. Estimated, yeah. Probably higher. Probably higher.
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, you know, it could be $1 million by the end of this one.
I'll put it this way: my goal is it's endless. It's endless. Just to keep helping people, empower people, to give them that. I don't have expectations. Yeah. I'm going to teach you guys. Have expectations is the number one for killer. It will bring you down. Your self-esteem will go down and say, "Oh, I didn't reach that goal." Well, you know what? Try again. Maybe you will. Kim Sue Berg said it best when I was going through my psychology courses. Kim Sue Berg from the States. She would say, "You know what? You have to pinpoint what you're good at. Now, tomorrow, do it better. Forget the negative. Forget about the stuff behind you. Look at the fact of what you're doing really well, right? And then go from there."
Exactly that. Now, you've got 7 books. 7.
By the end of this year, I'm going to be I'm doing volume 1.
Right.
Here's what I did. Okay, 5 books I did myself. I did a co-author a book with another guy. Now, I said, okay, listen, I've already made it. I've already made that level. Why not give other people a chance? So Magnetic Entrepreneur, a personality that attracts, volume 1, 2, and 3. I just did volume 1. We're putting it out in November, I believe 15-ish.
Oh, it's my birthday.
Yeah. So guess what? Here's what I did. I did the name of it and I put a video out there. I said, let's see how many people, Magnetic Entrepreneur, personality that attracts, entrepreneurs that struggled to get to where they are and now they're doing really well. How many of you guys would want to be in that book? I gave them a large value to get in that book.
Yeah.
They had to qualify. There was a huge qualifying list, a lot of different people. I refused a lot of different people too. I refused my own biological mother to be in the first book. Well, sometimes you have to. It just shows you how picky I am.
Yeah.
All right. Tony J. Salimi did the forward for the book on that one, right? He read it overnight and did the forward. He says, wow, he says, what a good read. So I got 15 different people to come in. Some of them never wrote anything in their life. Some of them wanted to write a book, but they didn't know how to write a book. So they just wrote a chapter in my book. And people are right from Sydney, Australia to California to Florida to here, to there, and they're all over the place. 15 different people.
Which is amazing. Right? So if you've got people that actually, like me, I'm writing my own book at the moment and it's due to be finished and completed by the end of this month. And, you know, how do people actually start? Because they say there's a book in everybody. So how would you say someone would actually start a book? Because you've done so many. The best way to
do it is when you're doing a journal, do a journal. Take 3 months per day. Do a journal on how you feel. Now, when I say journal, a lot of people think, oh, I got to write a whole page. Get over it. Here's what you got to do. You write, this happened, and this is how I feel about it. That's identifying. You don't have to worry. Or when you do this makes me feel. It's identifying. That's all you have to write. You don't have to write anything more than that. All of a sudden, you're mixing up the emotions. You're getting emotions going. Now you're learning, okay, I could start thinking more clearly. I could see more clearly, and I could, adjust myself. You can do a morning ritual, a nighttime ritual to help out with the matter too. All of a sudden, boom, now you're starting to write the content. You don't have to worry about what's going on. Just start writing.
I did similar sort of thing, but I did mine because where mine is my life story, mine's called Warrior Rising. And I'm doing my life story of the adversities that I've gone through my life. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a bit about how you overcome the situations that I did. Now, it's about how I overcome it then and hindsight now. So, you know, it's looking on a child's point of view as well as an adult's point of view. And I've done that to not to say to people, oh, look at me, this is what I've done, but it's to turn around and say, after I've gone through all these situations, I'm still here today, and I'm still positive, and I look at every day as a brand new day. And the way I did it is I put down every day of you know, my year and what happened during that year, and I just did one sentence, like what you were saying, just put in about how you felt and put in one sentence. And I was like, I had like 8 pages full, and I was like, how am I going to make that into a book? But once you start reading, because you know, and I suppose you went through the same, is when you've gone through them emotions and you actually explode those into content, it just goes, and now all of a sudden I'm up to like 90 pages already, and I'm only at age like 20.
I gave you to look at.
Sorry?
You see the content I gave you to look at.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot there. There is a lot.
I could write a book on that alone.
Yeah, I can imagine. You know, there's a book in everyone, guys. So, you know, if there's something that you want to get out there, if there's something that, you know, you've always wanted to write your own book, you know, don't be scared to do it. Do what Robert's just said. Do what I've just said. You know, depending on what kind of book you want to do, write everything down. Do a 3-month journal. You know, do what I did. I did mine on a yearly basis. And not only that, is if you're finding you're struggling anyway, even if you did that every single day for 3 months and actually read back on it, you'd probably look at you of where you was then to where you are today, and you'll probably build your confidence up anyway, because you'll see how much you've changed and what you've achieved over those 3 months.
It's the goal. Each goal helps.
Sorry, say that bit again. I missed that.
Each goal helps build that character.
Yes, it does, 100%. And that's what it's all about. It's about building character. And, you know, at the end of the day, guys, you've got one life. You've got to live this life to the best of your ability. And if you find that your ability is not good enough, and then learn, find the knowledge and find what you need to find. And what's your last saying, Robert? What would you say that to tell them to go and do, or ask them to try and achieve?
First of all, you're well and worthy. A lot of people don't think they are. They got self-doubts, they got limited beliefs, they got resistance, they got some stuff in their past that are just not clarified. Get someone, talk to them. If you want to talk to me, I'm here. You know, you want to talk to you, you're there. I've been doing it for years, helping people out. I'm walking people down the right path. And as you see, 100,000 people, that's just an estimate. I mean, that's not even my estimate. It's what other people are telling me, because of the status of what they know, what I've done and what I've been doing in my life. That's probably about 130 for all I know. You know, yeah, but
it's amazing. It is amazing. I mean, I can't wait to get to that level where you are now, you know, and knowing that I've helped that many people. I mean, it was amazing enough for me to say that when I did my first.
Build your foundation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about. It's building that foundation.
If you don't build that foundation, the whole house crumbles all the way down.
That's right. And when I did my first talk, it was very much that, you know, I had 5 people come up to me to say how well it was and how much they enjoyed it and how much I inspired them and what I'd gone through, that I was a warrior. And I even had one gentleman come up to me, and I'll never forget it. And he turned around and said to me, my daughter's just gone through the same thing, and I know how to handle what she's talking about. And that there, I was like, wow. And that's when I decided there and then that I wanted to do more speaking. That was my time to go, do you know what? If I can do this with one talk, imagine what I can do with 50. Imagine what I can do with 100.
See, I don't just do the books either, right? I co-author the books. What's that?
This is your time. Tell us everything.
Okay, well, I mean, I have a program out there right now. I've been waiting to put out there. If you see on my page, you'll see an authentic story. Well, I teach people how to teach their own story, get their story out of them, teach them to get on that stage, teach them the right critique, the right tone, the right body language. I teach them how to do it so that it makes them valuable, right? It makes them an asset in their own business. It doesn't matter if they're top CEOs. It doesn't matter if they're down below. It's matter as makes them feel good when they do it. It expresses them more. And that, you know what, I've seen CEOs, when I taught them, CEOs actually elaborate and make a lot more money, twice the amount of money. I mean, it depends. I've done exceptionally well with it. Telling my own story, learning how to tell my story, it's brought me to this level I'm at now. And that's why I bring a bunch of people at once, 15 to 20 at a time, I bring up to my level. Anybody that comes in my book that goes as co-author, within 3-4 months, they end up being an international bestseller because the book will be there and they're there in it.
Exactly. So guys and girls out there, what I want to say to you is no matter what you're going through, be positive, have a major goal that you know that you, even if you don't think you can achieve it now, you will achieve it. You just got to make sure that you're focused, that you take action, and you make sure that you get there and keep going forward every single day. I want to say thank you very much for Robert J. Moore for joining me today on Content Tuesday. I will be back with you on Thursday. I've got another special guest called Sue Davison, and she was my safe person to talk to when I first started speaking. And I wanted to bring her along this time to make sure that, you know, I could see where I was coming from and what she did to help me. And I will be in an interview with her. So thank you very much for your time, Robert. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you for everybody that's joined today. And thank you very much for everybody that's going to see the replay.
And I'll see you when I come down for my little mini vacation there.
Yeah, we'll come and see you. We'll go for London,
October 2nd to the 9th, I'll be down there.
Okay. Well, then what we'll do is we'll arrange a meet-up and we'll come and see you.
There you go.
Yeah, it's all done. It's all sorted. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And this is me signing out from Content Tuesday of unlocking the fearless you. And see you later, guys. Take care.